Hope everybody had a great 4th of July. We are back. It's a new week. We are back to the grind here. Hope everybody had a great 4th of July. I just wanted to tell you guys I got to watch, over the summer I coached basketball, and there were some stats that I wanted to bring up about, I coach high school basketball, and just wanted to bring up some stats about this game I just watched over the summer. And I know it's the summer. He is a freshman, and I wanted to lay this out for everybody and let me know if this was good stats or not. He played, in the summer, different rules. It could be 10-minute running clock quarters. It could be, 20-minute running halves and stuff like that. I would roughly say this freshman played roughly 20 to 25 minutes. First time, and he had 4 points. I think he had 2 assists. I asked the coach. It was 4 points, 2 assists. Was able to get 2 rebounds, and he stole the ball once. Kind of struggled a little bit. He was 2 of 9. Didn't make a 3. Didn't make a free throw. But he is a freshman in high school, so please let me know what you guys think. He was a freshman, and talking to the coach, like, yeah, he has some upside, and we're looking to see if he could get into the summer, play some JV minutes for us, and then maybe develop and maybe could get to the varsity level, right? And so I'm just very curious as to what anybody thinks. Comment like down below. Do you think that that's his first game ever? Is there an upside to that? I had some hustle, but kind of struggled on the defensive side. Some guys got into him. I know once he got his ankles broken a little bit coming down. So I just, I wanted to reach out to everybody on here because is that a good stat to have or not in a summer league? You're playing summer high school basketball. You're a freshman. You have some prominent athletic abilities. The coach, he had brought him in and said, I want to just throw him into the fire here a little bit. So it's the summer. Let's throw him into the fire, see what he's got a little bit. And just wanted to see what he got. And yeah, he struggled, but let's see what he can build on, right? Because he's a freshman in high school, and we have plenty of opportunities to get him better. The risk versus reward isn't very high because we have other guys that we can play. Just to let him see, and as the summer progresses, we'll see what he can do. We'll play him in the next game, see if we can't get the 4 points and the shooting better. Was it just nerves? Was he going up against, other varsity guys? And I wanted to just reach out to see what you guys thought about that as we start this episode. Oh, wait a minute. I'm super sorry here. I think I gave you the wrong stats for this. Oh, I'm sorry. I gave you the stats. It was the summer NBA league. I'm so sorry. I gave you the wrong stats from this freshman in high school. My eyes aren't very good. Oh, this was Bronny James's stats. I'm so sorry. LeBron James's son that the Los Angeles Lakers used their 55th pick on, that the general manager, Rob Pelinka, was calling general manager saying, don't you dare take Bronny James or he's going to go play in Australia. Yeah, sorry, that was Bronny James. He had 4 points. He was 2 of 9 for shooting, 0 of 3 for the 3. He did not hit a free throw. He was 0 for 2. He had 2 rebounds, 2 assists, and 1 steal. And he played 22 minutes. I am so sorry, guys. I got my files mixed up here. I thought that was a freshman in high school. What are we doing? I don't get it. That was Bronny James's stats in his summer league debut for the NBA for the Los Angeles Lakers. So before we dive into that, I tried. First of all, did you see his contract? It's reported that he's going to make $7.9 million. Okay. Now, that's over 4 years. And with Los Angeles or California taxes and stuff, I know it's less, but it's reported that he's going to get around $7.9 million, which is way more than people that get picked at that position in that draft get paid. Are you kidding me? You wasted a pick on a guy that averaged 4 points a game in college, and you're going to pay him way, way above market value for that position in the draft. That's what you're doing. For a guy that's not proven, the only thing proven about him is that LeBron James is his dad. Now, I want to start by saying this. I don't really mind, I guess, quote unquote, attacking LeBron James because it's been going on for years. I really don't like talking about like a Bronny James because it's not his fault, right? I don't care what anybody says. That he's an adult, makes decisions. I get it. But your dad is LeBron James. And I guarantee you, I am 98% sure that he was pushing him to get to the NBA because LeBron knows he's got a year or two left. 2 years if he's super, super, super lucky. But I know he's got at least a year left because he's going to play this year. And was pushing because he really wanted to play with Bronny James in the NBA just once. So I guarantee this was being pushed. If you're Bronny James and you're 19 years old, 18, 19 years old, whatever, however old he is, yeah, the opportunity to go to the NBA, if it's presenting itself, would take it, as many of us would take it. So I'm not sitting here saying Bronny James make better decisions. I bet you it's super tough to probably go up to your dad and say, hey, you know what? I just don't think I'm good enough. I want to go back to college. No, if you're getting told that you have the opportunity to go to the NBA, you're probably going to take it. Now, the money's not an issue because LeBron James has enough money to spend in a couple lifetimes. So the fact that he's going to get paid $7.9 million is probably not a big deal to him because his dad's got the money. But we're already starting the LeBron James factor, right? And this is what I mean. LeBron James fans are some of the most annoying people on planet Earth. And this started when LeBron James went to the NBA. This already started. They were calling him the king, calling him the best to ever do it, without him proving anything, right? And that's kind of where this started. If LeBron James fans would have waited till his mid-career, waited till a couple years ago, and then they start saying this stuff, it wouldn't be as annoying. But this poor kid already has got pressure put on top of him without proving a damn thing. The guy averaged 4 points in college. There are guys that averaged, even on his own team, that averaged 10 more points a game, averaged more rebounds per game, played more minutes per game. There are guys in college that did not get drafted that averaged and played better than Bronny James. The reason why I started off with saying I gave you a freshman stats and that he has ability to prove, but we have ways to get him better, this isn't it. Bronny James should have stayed in college and proven. I've said this. If he would have came back for another year of college and he started to average 15, 16 points a game, started to get more rebounds, shoot better free throws, and able to develop his defensive game more in college over that period of time, then we could talk about the NBA next year and make that leap. Just because a guy shows athleticism does not mean that he is NBA ready, does not mean he's ready to be picked 55th in the draft, does not mean he is earning of the millions of dollars that they want to pay him. And I guarantee he's going to get a shoe deal, and I guarantee this is going to happen. He's going to get all of this. And you wait, and you're going to say, okay, we're going to play him in the summer league and see what he's got. Okay, I get it. But the possibility that he just stays in the G League for most of the year, you wasted a draft pick on that and the money on that, where you probably could have found somebody that could have kind of slid into playing in the NBA and helping out the team. You wasted a pick on that just because his dad is on the team. It's an awkward situation for the Lakers. I get it. But at the end of the day, LeBron, you got to sit back and go, okay, maybe you're not ready, but you didn't. And I don't want to hear, well, Bronny James made the decision. No, I don't want to hear that. And I don't want to hear how the Lakers weren't told to draft him. That is ludicrous. That is ridiculous because I guarantee you LeBron has say. And I don't want to hear that because when you look at the most prominent players throughout sports, the top guys on that team get brought in and talked to about certain things. There are certain decisions that are made without them, but they are informed. Kobe Bryant was always informed. I guarantee you Michael Jordan was informed a little bit, but it was way different back in the 80s and 90s. I guarantee Shaq was talked to. I guarantee Dwayne Wade was talked to. This is just what happens. I don't personally like it because I think we have jobs to do, and I think that they don't really need to talk to those guys, but it's just what happens, right? It's just a part of it. So when it's a part of it, let's talk about it. The reason why he's getting scrutinized is because of that, and he's getting scrutinized because of you, the fans. That is why LeBron gets scrutinized, because of you, the fans of this. The reason why he's getting scrutinized so badly, and I kind of don't like it, to be honest with you, because he is a young kid. I'm older than him. It's because the amount of pressure put on by you, the fans, and you, the sports media experts, of how you covered him. You weren't honest about your coverage of him. You weren't honest about exactly what you were seeing. You got blinded by the LeBron-ness and the fandom, and that is what happened. That is what happened. You did not do your job well as a sports broadcaster and reporter about exactly what you were seeing. I'm cool with the reports of he's athletic. Absolutely he is. Can he jump? Absolutely he can. And eventually might be able to figure out where he can guard somebody up and down the court and stay there. I get it. I appreciate that reporting of him and looking at how he plays. Appreciate it. It's awesome. But then to sit there and say it's going to be at an elite NBA level. Maybe, but is it worth drafting him, paying him that money, which is way overvalued at that position, and hoping within 5 to 6 years at the most that this is what you will get? I don't think so. Especially if you're the Lakers. You're the Lakers. You and Boston Celtics are the cream of the crop when it comes to the NBA. Always have been. Look at the championships Boston just won, which put them over the top over the Lakers. You're supposed to be the top tier franchise because of all these championships you have, the great talent you've been able to find, and put it out there to show everybody and get to compete for championships. That's what us Bulls fans were kind of hoping after the 2-3-peats, was hoping that would continue, but it never got traction. The Lakers have seemed to find traction with it. You win championships, and you had the Magic Johnsons, and you had the Kobe Bryant, or Kobe and Shaq, then you had the Kobe right after. It's just never then after that been picked up. It's just turned into a circus. And it's because of the people like the Nick Wrights of the world, especially Nick Wright. I guarantee Nick Wright is on LeBron's payroll, kind of like in politics. And I don't want to get too political, but I know people have probably seen it, that what's his name, the Harry Sisson guy that thinks that Joe Biden can do no wrong. And I'm not going to, I already know we're getting political here and you're going to go one way or the other, but all of us do something wrong, right? Michael Jordan did things wrong. Kobe Bryant did things wrong. LeBron James has done things wrong, and everything else. We all do. We're human beings. It's just what happens. Already during this 14, 15 minutes, I've probably said something wrong, moved the wrong way, did this. You could fact check me on something and it's wrong. It's just what happens. We are human beings, and we're never going to be 100% right, because if we were all 100% right, life would be boring. You would have no friends because the person's always right, then you're always right. It would be the most boring thing ever. Like the Harry Sisson guy talks about how Joe Biden can't do anything wrong, which is ridiculous because every single president we've ever had has done things wrong and said things wrong. It's okay to admit that. That's how LeBron fandom is, that LeBron just can't do anything wrong. He is Jesus coming back, or God presenting himself, and he can walk on water and do no wrong. And I've said that for years, and that's a big problem I have with certain fans. But like Nick Wright, like Harry Sisson is on Joe Biden's payroll. I've seen the pic, like the whatever. I think Nick Wright is probably on LeBron's payroll and works for him or works for somebody for him and just says these things. And that's why, like, he looks at Bronny James, and I guarantee that he thinks that this is just a bad game for Bronny. But then it doesn't help, because then the next game, Bronny's already showing like a load management, and they say there was like swelling in his knee and he can't play. Now, if that's true, okay, I get it. But already, you 55th draft pick, you're paying him money. You're talking about how great he's could be, but who knows how long that's going to take. That's going to take a couple years. And should have went back to college. He already has a problem where he can't play the next game. I hate the load management thing, because these fans, and I also hate how they compare the sports of like NFL, NBA and stuff to a regular job. Like, oh, regular job people, they take days off sometimes to do this and this. That's what, like, you can't compare that to the normal class, hardworking people, because I understand NBA and NFL and Major League Baseball, a lot of pressures put on you, and sometimes mental health. I get it. And sometimes you need that day. I think it needs to be restructured then. Maybe does the NBA and NFL give them sick days or a personal day? But the amount of money that they make, you don't get paid. Like, I don't know how you fix it. I hate the load management thing, because people like us that, and I know it's summer league, but when you look at a regular game, if we save up or decide and we go, hey, you know what, we're going to go to a game and we're going to pay $100 a ticket, and there's two of you, so there's $200 right there. You just spent $200. Well, then you got to travel there. And so are you taking the train? Are you driving, sitting in traffic, doing all that? Then you got to pay for parking if you're driving. Then you come in, and then if you really, really want a soda or water, it's expensive. Did you decide to eat before the game? Well, that's a meal that maybe you weren't planning on, so now you're buying that. Are you buying something there? If it's just two of you, now, well, if it's two of you and two kids, well, there's $400. They're like, that's hardworking, and that's what pays their salaries and what helps the building and everything. So I cannot stand the load management, because what if you save forever and now you have the opportunity to go watch this player, and then they don't play unless they are actually injured. I've told the story a million times. I got to see Kobe Bryant play live once. And this is when Steve Nash was on the team and Dwight Howard and stuff. And they were going to go play the Pacers at their place. And Indianapolis is only like a 45-minute drive or so. And so me and my girlfriend at the time and decided to go. And the tickets were not expensive, because in Indianapolis, it's not very expensive. The day or two before the game, Kobe Bryant rolled his ankle, and it swelled up really bad. It might have been the day before. I don't remember. And I freaked out, because they were talking about how he was put on the questionable list and he may not play. But we already bought the tickets. And I thought about it. I said, you know what? It's still seeing the Lakers play. It's still seeing Dwight Howard play and Steve Nash. And so let's go. Went there, got there early, got to the arena, sat down, and it was still questionable whether Kobe Bryant was going to play. I had my Kobe Bryant jersey on. I'm all excited. Literally right before warm-ups, they come out and say Kobe Bryant's going to be in the starting lineup. He came out and played the first quarter, maybe part of the second quarter, and then he just couldn't go anymore. His ankle was really bad. It was like a softball. Now it was down to like a baseball size. He was really in a lot of pain. He fought through it. And then he didn't play the rest of the game. But he had come out and said before that there were so many Lakers fans there. Like, we went to like in Indianapolis, we don't really know our way around, but near the arena was Hard Rock Cafe. So we went there, just surrounded by Laker fans. It was crazy. Like, we're in Indianapolis, and there was Laker fans everywhere. And he said that people all over the country, when the Lakers show up, they are there to watch the Lakers, and they're there to watch. Like, you could say this is selfish or anything, but he's like, they pay to watch us play. They pay to watch me play. I've got fans all over the world. What I'm not doing my job if I can't really fight through and play, right? Like he would like unless he was super hurt. So the fact that he went out there and played the whole first quarter, and I think it was part of the second quarter, he's like, I tried to show that, like, give them what they were trying to pay for, and that I played. And then he didn't like go away. He stayed on the bench so that way people could still see him. And so I got to see him play a little bit. And as a fan, that was everything to see Kobe Bryant play once, because I would never fly out to California. To try to go to Chicago and pay the ticket for Chicago would be a lot. And so to go, like, I tell that story all the time. And so this load management thing has always irked me. But you've got sports reporters and stuff talking about how good it is. You know, they've got to rest and everything else. Okay, if they have to rest, then you got to change how you practice. You got to change some things on how that goes, so that way you can play, unless you're actually like injured and can't go, right? I understand all of that. And I get that part. And sometimes it's just unfortunate, but when it's controllable. So I'm not necessarily saying Bronny is like load managing, but he's already getting kind of the treatment that he's like an NBA star without earning the rights of being an NBA star. And it's just unfortunate that these things were said about him, and the weight of the entire world is being put on his shoulders. And again, I go back to, it would have been okay one more year of college just to develop. And if you never play basketball with your dad, that's okay, because nobody gets to do that. And so I know that LeBron James and the fans wanted that to happen because they'll add it into the GOAT debate of he's the first one ever to play with his son, so he's the GOAT. Did Michael Jordan ever do that? I guarantee that's going to be a part of their argument. And so I feel really bad for Bronny because this weight is put on him. And I'm not saying that he can never not be a decent NBA player because he is athletic, but just because you're athletic does not mean that it fits to that sport. You talk about like high school kids, I've described high school kids like this, like, oh, he's super athletic. We just got to figure out what he can do on the football field. He's super athletic. We just got to figure out how do we turn that into basketball. And maybe it's not basketball. Maybe he's, there's just all that stuff. And so when some kids and players are super athletic and it fits exactly to the sport they're playing at the time, and you can work with a guy that's super athletic. So that's what I'm saying. Like, you can work with this, but if it's just going to play in the G League all year and you don't come up and play NBA minutes, how does that justify a pick like that and paying him this money? Like, how does that fit? And so I laughed at the stats because, and yeah, you could say I'm laughing at him, but it's more towards the fans. It's more towards like Nick Wright, like, hey, this is your guy. Hey, Rob Pelinka and Lakers, this is your guy, and this is what happened. And you look at the stats from that game, so many other people outplayed him. And I'd have to look up all their contracts and stuff, and I'm not going to do that. But like on the Lakers, Bronny started. He had the lowest, like only one person didn't outscore him, and that was Olivieri on the bench. He had 3. Everybody else outscored him. Castleton 11 points, Lewis 14 points, Netsch 12 points, East the second 6 points. Off the bench, Kushi, I can't even say his name right, 15 points. Hinson off the bench 17 points. Like that, Arms on Sacramento that they played, he had 32. Sneed had 13. Ford had 17. A guy off the bench, A. Davis, not Anthony Davis, 20 points. So, like, these guys, now, some of these guys, I'm sure, have already played in the NBA. That's all they do is play G League. But, like, now, Bronny, you're going against, like, grown men outside of college, and this is what's going to happen. And I just have a fear that he's going to be sticking around because he'll have a highlight thing going on. He'll do something cool, which was part of the breakdown of him in college, was that he had glimpses and flashes of this, and this. But it looked like a Terrence Shannon Jr. I'm just going to go by Illinois because I watched him all the time. Look at all the greatness that he did consistently compared to like a Bronny who was just every so often. So was it worth the pick? I said they could have not drafted him, got some other player that could have maybe contributed right away. Then you free agent signed him. He don't need the money. Like some of these guys probably need that money more than Bronny because LeBron's got more money than we could all imagine. So that's another thing that I just don't understand is why the money part. Some of these guys that are in college trying to get to the NBA grew up poor and need the money, right? So why not draft somebody else? They should have drafted somebody else in that position that maybe could have, contributed, and then maybe free aid, like get him non-drafted, and then find a way to keep him, right? Like, could you have pulled that off? And so the whole Los Angeles Lakers organization right now does not look good. And Dr. Buss is rolling around in his grave wondering what his daughter's doing to this team because the Lakers also can't get people to come play. People are complaining that it's Rob Pelinka's fault because claimed like he didn't call Klay Thompson and everything else. How about this? Do you think I just don't think people want to play with LeBron. Right? I honestly think that's it. The only people you've seen that wanted to play with LeBron is Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh and Anthony Davis. But like, he's best friends with Chris Paul. How has he ever not gotten Chris Paul? How has he never gotten some of these other big time names to come to Los Angeles or wherever and play with him, right? Is there a reason why Kyrie never went to the Lakers to play again with them after Cleveland? Because he had no choice. He got drafted there, and then LeBron came back. Is there a reason why Klay Thompson didn't go to the Lakers? Well, the pieces around the Lakers aren't ready to win a championship. Okay, so you're telling me that the pieces, right? It's not all LeBron, it's a team and it's pieces. So you contradict yourself there, LeBron fans, when I hear that. Well, the pieces, it's a team game. Okay, but you always tell me that it's because of LeBron when they win a championship. So what you're telling me is it's the team. I can live with that argument, but you can't go back and forth. You can't say, well, they win championships or the championships they won was because of LeBron James. It wasn't because of D Wade and Chris Bosh. It was LeBron James. And then when LeBron goes somewhere else, well, you got to have the right pieces around him in order to win. You can't go back and forth on that. You can't. Stick to one side. If you're going to stick with that, it's all because of LeBron winning championships. Cool, stay in that lane, but then stay in the lane of that when I say, oh well, when they lost all the NBA finals because he's lost more NBA finals than any other NBA Hall of Fame All Star guy because he's lost a lot of finals. That means it's because of him. Then you can't have it both ways. You can't eat your cake. You can't have the cake and eat it, like whatever the phrase is. You can't eat your cake and have it too, whatever the phrase is. And you can't have it that way. You can't have it both ways. And so stick into your lane. So it's just a lot. It's just a lot. And poor Bronny James is going to get the front part of this, especially if he doesn't perform well over the summer. And as they go into that'll probably be the most covered G League games of the regular season for NBA because of him. Cool, they deserve it. But I just don't understand a lot that's happened. And it's just crazy. The world is crazy. And so I just don't think he's the guy. I don't think it's going to happen. And I know I've talked about it last time. Horrific that he had a heart attack. Nobody on planet Earth would want bad things to happen to him or anybody. I don't want bad things to happen like that to people. I'm not a LeBron person, but if he were to have a heart attack, I'd say I hope he gets better and I hope he does well. Like, we would never want anything to happen. And he had to fight back through that. And I love that. I don't love the story that he had a heart attack, but you love the story of he had a heart attack, battled back through, played college basketball, and was able to do that. Awesome. Because it's a small percentage of people that go on to play college sports. We love that part of the story, and we'll never take that away. But as it continues, because of what his dad does, the Los Angeles Lakers organization, this pressure put on this poor kid, it's just going to continue to get worse. And so bad stats, did not play the next game. Don't even know if he's going to play the next one. And it's just not looking like a good start to his professional career. And It's a poor thing for the kid. But this is what it is right here. The pressure of people like me talking about it, pressure of much bigger platforms talking about it. And this is what it's going to be. Like, it's going to be LeBron 2.0 of how we talk about this. And this is what it is. So that wraps up this episode. Leave a comment in the comment section down below about what you think. And I'm ready for haters. I'm ready for people to come after me. Just do it. I don't care. I'd rather have conversations and dialogue, but man, come after me. I'm ready for it. Bring it on. Bring it on, LeBron fans. Bring it on, Laker fans that are diehards. Bring it on. I'm ready for it. Leave a comment in the comment section down below on your thoughts. Like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Give it a thumbs up. Follow it and rate it on Apple and iTunes and Spotify. X is Coach_Steve72. Instagram, Coach Steve72. TikTok, Coach Steve72. It's all in the description below. Check it out. Check out all the affiliates in the description below as well. Check out all the other videos. If you're listening to this all the way through Friday, as of right now, scheduled Coach Eric Mealy, special teams coach at the University of North Carolina, where Michael Jordan, the best NBA player of all time, went, will be joining us on Friday morning. Check that out and working on other interviews. Check out all that stuff. Thank you guys for watching and or listening. This is Coach Steve. I will see you guys next time.